General Hospital spoilers for Friday, August 14th. A shocking clue may have just changed everything we thought we knew about the current power dynamics in Port Charles. For weeks, we have been watching the devastating fallout of Drew Cain's tragic shooting and his subsequent agonizing battle with locked-in syndrome. The official narrative presented to the authorities has been full of suspicious holes and convenient memory lapse. But something isn't adding up anymore. A brand new detail could expose a truth so incredibly dark and twisted that it will shatter multiple prominent families beyond repair. We are looking at a terrifying scenario where the person pulling the strings isn't necessarily the one who pulled the trigger, but rather the one who is secretly hiding the definitive proof of the crime. Guys, a massive secret is sitting right in front of us, and it revolves entirely around the complex, toxic marriage of Michael Corinthos and Congresswoman Willow Cain. If you have been paying attention to their subtle, strained glances and the unspoken tension filling the Quartermaine mansion, you know exactly what I am talking about. We are on the verge of a bombshell revelation that could rewrite the entire history of these legacy families. Let's zero in on the one specific detail that is driving this entire mystery forward. It is a deliberate, highly calculated, and utterly ruthless decision made by Michael Corinthos. We all know the dark truth that Willow Cain is the one who pulled the trigger on Drew Cain, sending him into a paralyzed night. But the vital clue here is Michael's highly suspicious silence. Why hasn't he marched straight into the Port Charles Police Department and handed over the undeniable proof of his wife's guilt? That is exactly where things become incredibly interesting. Michael is holding on to the ultimate trump card. He has the physical, irrefutable evidence that proves Willow is a shooter, but instead of seeking justice for his uncle Drew, he is keeping that evidence deeply buried. This isn't just a husband blindly protecting the mother of his children out of love. It feels far more sinister and calculated. It is a strategic, cold-blooded move. The clue is Michael's sudden sense of eerie calm amidst the surrounding chaos. He isn't panicking because he realizes he now holds the ultimate leverage over his wife. If you ask me, this single deliberate decision to hide the evidence is the absolute center of this storyline and the key to unlocking a massive blackmail plot. So, let's connect the dots here, because they are painting a truly terrifying picture for Willow Cain's future. If Michael is indeed keeping this evidence strictly as a bargaining chip, it explains so much about his recent bizarre behavior. It explains why he has been so quietly observant while Willow frantically runs around trying to silence Drew permanently. Willow is absolutely terrified that Drew is rapidly regaining his mobility and might soon speak out to name her as his attacker. She has been making dangerous alliances, desperately trying to keep her dark secret hidden from the world. But what if the real threat to her freedom isn't Drew waking up? What if the real threat has been sleeping in the same bed as her? This makes Michael's every interaction with Willow highly suspicious. If this is true, he can use this damning evidence to force Willow to do whatever he wants, whether it pertains to full custody of Wiley and Amelia, controlling her political career, or dictating her every move within the Quartermaine family. He has her completely trapped in a web of her own making, and she might not even fully realize the extent of his control yet. But wait, there is a massive, unpredictable wild card in this equation, and her name is Trina Robinson. Trina and Kai Taylor know the truth about Drew's recovering condition. They know that Willow cannot be trusted and that she is a clear and present danger to Drew's life. If you ask me, Trina and Kai are absolutely sick and tired of standing on the sidelines while Willow plays God with a man's life. Instead of just quietly handing over what they know to the authorities and letting the slow wheels of justice turn, Trina is on the verge of going totally rogue. She is a fierce, independent young woman who has been pushed to the absolute limit by the endless drama of the adults in her life. If Trina decides to take matters into her own hands and publicly rebel against the established narrative, it completely changes the game. This connects directly to Michael's secret blackmail plot. If Trina exposes the truth before Michael can fully weaponize his evidence, they are on a direct collision course that will leave massive collateral damage. And we cannot talk about Trina's volatile emotional state without looking at the incredibly tense, high-stakes situation surrounding her father, Curtis Ashford. Curtis's assault trial is reaching a terrifying boiling point, and the impending jury verdict is casting a dark, suffocating shadow over the entire Ashford family. Something feels incredibly off about the family dynamic right now. Stella Henry is acting as the early warning system for the Ashfords, and she sees the writing on the wall clearly. Stella recognizes that the conflict between Portia Robinson, Curtis Ashford, Jordan Ashford, and Isaiah Gannon is escalating to a dangerous, unsustainable level. The biggest question is how this immense tension will ultimately affect the children involved. Stella is terrified that this legal battle will mutate into a vicious, ugly dispute over the kids. If Curtis is found guilty and sent to Pentonville, Trina will suffer the heaviest emotional blow. The agonizing stress of her father's potential incarceration might be the exact psychological trigger that pushes Trina to rebel, take drastic action, and expose Willow's crimes to the world. She is a powder keg waiting to explode, and the trial verdict is the match. This brings us to the big reveal theory, the massive earth-shattering secret that is about to blow Port Charles wide open. Here is what I strongly believe is really happening behind closed doors at the Quartermain estate. Michael Corinthos is meticulously orchestrating a master-class blackmail scheme to completely subjugate Willow Kane. He plans to use the hard evidence of her shooting Drew to hold her hostage in their marriage, ensuring she never steps out of line again. He thinks he has the perfect, foolproof plan to maintain absolute power. But the huge storyline-altering twist is that Trina Robinson is going to beat him to the punch. The theory is that Trina, fueled by the agonizing stress of Curtis's verdict and her unwavering loyalty to Kai and Drew, will bypass the corrupt police force, bypass Michael's manipulations, and publicly drop the bombshell that Congresswoman Willow Kane is a would-be murderer. Trina is going to blow the whistle loudly and proudly, and in doing so, she will completely obliterate Michael's leverage in a matter of seconds. If this theory holds true, the aftermath will be absolutely catastrophic for almost everyone involved. Who loses everything in this scenario? Willow Kane, for starters. Her promising political career, her freedom, and her pristine public image will go up in spectacular flames the second Trina exposes her dark deed. But the real hidden loser here is Michael Corinthos. Michael will instantly lose his ultimate bargaining chip. His grand Machiavellian plan to control his wife will evaporate into thin air, leaving him empty-handed and potentially implicated criminally for intentionally withholding crucial evidence in an attempted murder investigation. He thought he was the smartest, most powerful guy in the room, but a grieving, angry, determined young woman is about to completely outsmart him and ruin his empire. And what about the aftermath for the Ashfords? If Curtis is somehow freed by the jury, you might think it would be a time for joyous celebration and healing. But if you ask me, an acquittal will only ignite a brand new, even more destructive war. Portia, Jordan, and Isaiah Gannon will be locked in a bitter, relentless power struggle, exactly as Stella predicted. If Curtis is found guilty, the family shatters into a million pieces, and Trina's rogue actions will be seen as a desperate, frantic cry for control in a life that is spinning violently out of control. Either way, the Ashford family is never going to be the same, and the emotional scars will last for generations. Meanwhile, this overarching chaos provides the perfect chaotic cover for other hidden agendas and emotional crises in Port Charles. Let's talk about the highly intriguing dynamic between Britt Westbourne and Rocco Falconeri. Following a very intense, unexpected encounter at the Metro Court, I firmly believe Rocco is going to be the catalyst that forces Britt to confront some deeply buried, painful emotions she has been desperately trying to hide. Britt has been hiding behind a thick wall of sarcasm, medical jargon, and endless complaints about her job, but Rocco's raw honesty is going to break right through those defenses. The vulnerable words Britt shares with him might tie back to her complicated history with Anna Devane, the sudden return of Scout Quartermain, or perhaps a much darker, heavier secret she has been carrying alone since her traumatic Huntington's misdiagnosis. There may be more to this story than just a simple heart-to-heart conversation. You might be wondering, why isn't Police Chief Anna Devane investigating Britt's suspicious behavior or the missing evidence at the PCPD? Because Anna is completely, hopelessly distracted. I suspect Anna is entirely focused on Emma Scorpio Drake's growing anxieties regarding her boyfriend, Giovanni Gio Palmieri. Gio is rapidly getting swept up in the glittering, fast-paced world of his new music career, and Emma is feeling left behind and insecure. Anna's hyper-focus on playing mediator for her granddaughter's romantic teenage drama is giving Britt the exact unsupervised window of time she needs to execute whatever hidden plan she is secretly working. Anna's blind spot regarding her family is going to cost her dearly in her profession. And let's absolutely not forget about Jocelyn Jack. Jocelyn is digging her heels in deeper with the WSB, completely ignoring the desperate pleas of her mother, Carla. I think Jocelyn's absolute stubborn refusal to back down or leave the intelligence agency is making her new, highly classified mission infinitely more dangerous. As people around her begin to apply intense pressure to force her to change her mind, Jocelyn will only become more defiant and reckless. If you ask me, her determination to prove everyone wrong might just walk her right into a lethal, inescapable trap set by her enemy. She is playing a very dangerous game with people who do not hesitate to eliminate threats. We may be looking at the beginning of something huge, a fundamental shift in the landscape of this town. The truth could be closer than anyone realizes, hiding in plain sight behind fake smiles and tampered evidence. Michael Corinthos truly believes he holds all the winning cards in his hand, but he has severely underestimated the fierce, unyielding determination of Trina Robinson. Someone may not be ready for what is coming next, and when that hidden evidence finally sees the light of day, the resulting shockwaves will tear mercilessly through the Corinthos, Quartermain, and Ashford families alike. Keep your eyes peeled, stay vigilant, and question everything you see, because the real, deadly game is just about to begin.
Goodbye. Please like, subscribe, and comment on the GH Spoilers Daily channel.